masterclass today is how to find confidence in your business, in your career, by selling more. And so I'm going to take you through 7 areas that I want to cover today in terms of helping you with your sales confidence and helping you increase your business success. So for me, those areas are going to cover, number 1, your mindset, how you can have and develop a confident mindset. Number 2, why I think it's so important to practice gratitude on a daily basis. That took me a long time to figure out, but I found it super important to helping me actually develop my business and develop more of the success that I've had. 3, if you're thinking about building a sales team, how can you build a sales team successfully and focus on helping people and grow out your business? 4, why you should increase your prices today. That's right. Whatever you do from a service or business perspective, have confidence in increasing your pricing. Number 5, we're going to talk about using LinkedIn for success and a framework for LinkedIn. 6, why everything starts with an event. So if you've got an idea to do something new, I can see in the comments some of you that are currently employed. Maybe you want to step up into a new career. Maybe you want to set up your own business. Well, then maybe you should think about running an event. And 7, we're going to be talking about your personal brand and reputation, which is important for you, whatever stage of your career you're at. So that's what I'm going to frame today's talk around, those 7 areas. But before I do that, I just want to tell you a little bit of background and a story about me to give you some context to the journey that I've been on and why I believe I'm an expert to help people with their confidence. So just to give you a bit of an overview, I'm the founder and CEO of Sales Confidence. Sales Confidence is the largest network of salespeople, business owners, and sales leaders in the UK. And our focus is to help people on their journey with their mindset, well-being, and performance so they can dream big and reach their goals by leveraging more confidence. My background is I've spent over 15 years in the software sales industry. For the last 5 years, I've been building my business up. My core business was events, but fortunately, and despite the challenges of COVID during that period of time, I was able to survive and thrive and come out the other side. Now, personally, I'm also diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And bipolar is a mood disorder where you experience high highs and low lows. And that means I've experienced really terrible deep depression and anxiety. And that leads me on to this kind of story that I want to share with you. Great to see the comments, Sally, David, Elita, Peter, James, welcome. Tim, thanks for joining. So I just want to take you back on a bit of a story to give you some insight into my experience and the journey I've been to get to a point that I could have a successful career and build confidence in a business and in sales despite the challenges that I've faced. So if I go back in time, I attended Oxford Brookes University over 15 years ago now. And as an entrepreneurial student, I was motivated to organize and run parties. And my main motivation as a student was to be able to fund my lifestyle. I was also a rowing athlete at the time, so I was spending time on the river competing to try and become an international athlete. And as a result of my entrepreneurial endeavors, I was organizing these parties. And the first party that I organized was on Freshers Week. And I'd gathered loads of people on the guest list. As students do, they sign up to lots of different lists. And I was expecting hundreds of people to arrive at my club night. It got to about 9:30, and I'm sure many of you, even if it was in your youth, has been to a nightclub. No one arrives on time, right? You know, people arrive at 10, 10:30, 11 or later, and then sneak in after they've been doing some drinking at the local pub or at their home or flat. And there I was waiting outside the nightclub, and I couldn't see anybody queuing up. I had no list of people. There was nobody waiting to get into this nightclub. The owner of the club came out and was like, James, what's going on? Where is everybody? He goes, you need to find a solution. You need to get people to come to this nightclub. So I tried my best to come up with an idea. And the only idea I could think was running to go and get my car, which was a small Vauxhall Corsa at the time, winding down the windows of my car, turning up my ghetto blaster, accelerating down the main high street in Oxford, doing a 360-degree turn, getting out on top of my car, and then taking my clothes off. So as you can imagine, there I am, standing on top of a car, clothes off, waving at all these students to come to my nightclub. And I could not get their attention. And before I knew it, the police arrived, took me down off the car and started to interrogate what the hell that I was doing. Now, the reason I tell this story is because 2 days later, I ended up in a mental health hospital. And in hospital, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, which I mentioned earlier. And that high of me standing on the car was me being in a hypermanic state of mind. It wasn't alcohol or drugs induced. It was purely a result of my psyche and also the stress that I was putting myself under to create a successful club night, as well as all the other activities of being a student and a rowing athlete. So large part of my life, I've unfortunately been in and out of hospital over the last 15 years. And I have a recurring theme that every 2 to 3 years, a level of pressure hits me and I end up in the mental health hospital. And I tell you that from a place of humility to help you feel that it doesn't matter what you've experienced. It doesn't matter if you've experienced depression, if you're lacking confidence, if you don't believe in yourself. There are many, many people that have been through these challenges that have overcome them. And I like to be an example of someone that's overcome those challenges. And I'm also someone that has listened to others in mental health hospitals and realized the depth of their despair and lack of the belief. And that's why it's my mission and my purpose to help people with their confidence, fundamentally because I've lacked confidence. You know, I've had a privileged background. I went to a great school. I went to a great university. I've rowed at an elite level. I've worked in high performance companies. Yet annually, I go into a depression. I lack confidence. I have to fight to find my way out of it. And so I believe I'm professionally and personally placed to give advice on how people can access to their comments. And I appreciate Aldi, David, Michaela, the comments coming through. That's very kind of you. So when I'm giving this advice, I'm giving it from a place of humility. And I really believe that it can help with your own personal confidence in your career for what you might want to do next, but also in business if you are looking to expand. So now let's get on to the 7 ways that I believe you can increase sales confidence in your career and in your business. So the first one is having a confident mindset. Now this really comes from a purpose. And Simon Squibb, who's become a dear friend and mentor to me, has highlighted the importance of having that purpose. And for me, that purpose gives me why. As I've explained, I've lacked confidence, I've had challenges. So I want to be able to help as many people as possible with their confidence so they can go and seek their dreams. So the question you have to ask yourself, and you might want to write this down, is, you know, what is your why? What is your purpose? What do you care about? You know, is it you're aiming towards something because you want to prove people wrong? Maybe people from your childhood, maybe people in your family that don't believe and are not supportive of your dreams. You know, you've got to find it within yourself to identify that purpose so that you can go and put in the work that is required to be successful and be confident. And with that purpose, you can really double down on your belief systems and your values so that you've got a robust mindset when you are pursuing those goals. And it makes it easier to overcome obstacles or challenges And I think that is really valuable when you're thinking about going forward and developing your confidence. Now, confidence also comes from competence, right? If you have competence and you've repeated a task over and over again, you feel competent. I'm sure most of you on here, probably drive a car. It's just natural to you, right? You don't do it, you do it without thinking. That's how you can evolve your confidence once you understand your purpose, once you understand your why, and you have belief in yourself. So that's the first thing to figure out and work on. Second is gratitude. Now I'm 36. I'm in the second part of my 30s. I didn't think about what I valued in my 20s at all. I really didn't recognize and acknowledge where I was. And I feel like you should be acknowledging and being grateful for this moment right now. Thank you for putting this time. I'm grateful to be here with HelpBnk. I'm grateful for this opportunity to share my experiences. And I recognize that there is a reason. I've got 3 young children that I'm grateful for. Now, there are many more levels that I want to aspire to, but you've got to practice gratitude on a daily basis and be grateful for what you've got and where you're at right now. So my second point is, remember to practice gratitude. Maybe you can write things down, a few notes at the end of each day, but that's my third point. The third of you, and just put the word sales. Can you just put the word sales in the comments if you sell your time, a service, a product, and if you're thinking about building a sales team? So put the word sales in the comments, and I can just see who's in that situation. So majority of my career has been a salesperson. And actually, if you're not putting the word sales in the comments, that's not necessarily true. If you're persuading your partner or your children to do something, you're selling to them. So we're all in sales, and that's something that I want to, it's important for people to remember. However, when you're thinking about attracting salespeople to support your business, you need to look for these kind of attributes. They need to be ambitious, right? They need to demonstrate they've got a level of ambition. They need to be curious. Great salespeople are great at asking the right questions at the right time. They need to demonstrate drive and a hard working ethic. If you're a business owner and you are working 12-hour days to be successful, you want people that are going to come on that journey with you and go the extra mile. Now, they're never going to work as hard as you as an owner, but they should be committed to their responsibility and be held accountable. But the area that I think is most important is finding people that have a chip on their shoulder, finding people that actually need to win. Maybe they've had a difficult life experience. Maybe they want to prove somebody else wrong. Maybe they have not been able to afford things in the past. And this is the reason why actually they're going to be motivated to support you. So thinking about those interview questions that uncover those traits of a high-performing salesperson is really going to help you get to the next stage and find someone that's going to help you. The next area is increasing prices. So I've done this a number of times on my business journey, and it causes me a lot of anguish because in your mind, you feel like this is the value you offer, this is the price that you've priced it at, and that's good enough. And a lot of the time, we already are struggling to sell what we have. However, also, most of the time, we're undervaluing ourselves. So as an employee, you're undervaluing what you're worth to a business. As a business owner, you're undervaluing the value you're creating with your service or product in the industry. And this is why I believe with some thought process and maybe working with your accountant, you could immediately increase your pricing and increase them by 10, 20, maybe even 30%, so that you can increase your margins, increase your profitability, and have more money to invest in the value that you're creating for people. So This might be something that you've not done this year. I'd love to know in the comments if you have increased your pricing this year. So if you have increased prices this year, put increased pricing. And if you haven't thought about it, but you're considering it now, just put in considering. So, that's something that I think is underestimated. It's actually very easy to do. It's something that will immediately have an impact and you will attract more people. So, good luck, Sarah, James, for considering this. Sandra, yeah, offering pictures out for free. Definitely, it's not recognizing the value. Maybe there's a different model, and I'll take questions in the next 5 minutes or so. The next thing is LinkedIn. And I spent almost 4 years working for LinkedIn. And at LinkedIn, while I was at LinkedIn, I was the #1 user of LinkedIn in the world out of thousands of employees. Because I set a goal, it was my purpose that I wanted to prove to everybody at LinkedIn and the executives that I worked with that I was the #1 user of LinkedIn. So I achieved that goal, and this is how I achieved it. And these are the tips that you can take. One, make sure you've got a profile, you've got a professional profile pic, you've got a strong summary, an elevator pitch that explains who you are, who you help, and the value that you bring in the world and what your purpose is. Then you want to start posting content. And if I'm honest, you will have some written copy, some text that describes who you are, what you do. And if you haven't used ChatGPT or heard of ChatGPT, you can now use that platform to generate more ideas. You should tweak the content, but that would help you. And I recommend on LinkedIn that you're at least posting once a day. So if you're posting once a day, and then you're interacting with the comments of people in the same way that you're interacting with the comments here, you've got an opportunity to engage with your audience. The other thing is your target customer, your ideal customer, 100% is on LinkedIn. It doesn't matter what you're selling and who you're selling to, you will find them on LinkedIn, and you have the ability to search for those people and send them a direct message while you're connecting with them. So you can put a bespoke message in there that gives you a reason and an explanation of why you're connecting with them. And that will help with you getting some reach out. And the key thing here, and this is what I want to get everybody behind, I think there's this belief in business and in sales that people just deserve to come and buy your product. You deserve the fact that you've got a product or service that people should be buying from you. No, you have to work. And the key thing here on LinkedIn, and you can use this advice in your entire business and your career, is follow up. This is the most important thing. And professional salespeople like me who have had a career in sales know that we must follow up until someone has told us they're not interested. The follow up and multiple follow-ups is critical to success. And you are just doing that to drive your business and drive your growth. So remember the word follow up. Hit the word follow up if you're going to follow up more with your prospects and customers and keep in touch with them. Let's see the word follow up in the comments because it's so important. Now, the 6th point is events. Everything starts with an event. Life started with an event, right? The beginning of time started with an event. And I really believe that events are the perfect way for you to nurture an idea, get more access to your audience, and become a thought leader. I built my entire community of thousands of salespeople, sales leaders, and business owners because I started with an event. Even if you're selling an online product, even if you're selling a service, a SaaS product that some of you have mentioned, how can you create an opportunity? Maybe it's a small dinner for 20 people. Maybe it's an after drinks evening in your city or town. Just create an opportunity to bring your prospective customers together with you. It's so, so valuable, even now more so in this virtual world that we live in. While this is great, and I've got this ability to reach thousands of people, and this will go onto Simon's platform, and millions of people may view this, and I love that. I love the power of the distribution and reach of content. I would say that getting close and interacting with someone that's your prospective customer, and maybe you bring your customers along so they can influence other people in the room, is a magical experience, more so than ever. So think about how you can run events and actually make them intimate enough that people get value from them. So if you like the idea of events, just stick events in the chat and we'll see what value you can get. And then the final point that I believe can help you grow confidence in sales is the personal brand and your reputation and how you think of yourself as an authority in your space. Now, showing up on LinkedIn, showing up on all social media, using content, using video is going to give you a competitive advantage. But don't underestimate that saying that it's not what people say to your face, it's what they say behind your back or when you're outside of the room. You know, someone told me that earlier in my career. They said, look, James, it's not what people say to your face, it's what they say after you've left the room. And that stayed with me because I want to have an impact. I want to have an impact with you right now. I want to have an impact with people that interact with me on a one-to-one call. I want to have an impact when I'm in a meeting face-to-face. I want people to feel good. I want them to feel that I'm the authority. I want them to know that I'm confident, and I want them to believe in what I'm offering or selling or bringing to the table. So, you know, thinking about that personal brand and your authority and reputation is really important. So in summary, 7 ways to increase your confidence in sales, develop your career, take your business to the next level. These are my 7 points. Number 1, develop a confident mindset. Understand your why, think about your purpose, and have rock solid belief in what you do. 2, practice gratitude on a daily basis. You are where you are right now. It's okay. Yes, there's people ahead of you. There will always be people ahead of you, but where you are today is where you are, and feel good about that. 3, think about the important attributes you look for in hiring salespeople. Find people that are curious and find people that have got a chip in their shoulder and are looking to develop in their career. 4, increase your pricing. Find a way to increase your pricing, increase your margin. Just do it, experiment. You can always take it back down again, but increase your pricing is really, really important. 5, use LinkedIn for success. Produce content, comment on others' content, send out direct messages, use LinkedIn for success. 6, think about the power of events and how important it will be. And 7, remember how important your reputation is. So in summary, my name's James Ski. I've been helping you with sales and confidence today. I'm happy to take questions in the chat. Before I do, there were 7 things that I shared in this talk today. I would love you to put what your key takeaway was. Was it LinkedIn? Was it events? Was it pricing? Was it salespeople? Was it confidence? Just stick that in the comments so I can see what your takeaway is. And then I'm happy to take some questions as we wrap up. So David Barr has asked, can you post too much on LinkedIn? I don't think you can. I wouldn't recommend posting more than 3 times a day. I think that might be the limit, but 3 times a day on LinkedIn is going to get you to the next stage of your growth. And you've got your personal LinkedIn and your business LinkedIn, and you just want to mix it up between video content, written text content, imagery. You know, documenting your journey in your business is super, super valuable. Michelle says that purpose is useful. Joe's talking about the quality of LinkedIn. Jim is talking about his ideal customer being on LinkedIn. Thanks for your comment about sales. Kian, gratitude. So this is the opportunity to ask any questions. Keep the questions coming in. And I'll happily answer those questions. Another piece of advice someone told me, a school teacher actually, and I've carried this through my career, is always ask a question. You've just invested half an hour of your time. I've demonstrated some expertise, I've demonstrated some knowledge, I've demonstrated a level of experience, And I'm here right now, not charging you. And that's the ethos of HelpBnk, you know, to help you with, for free, get to the next stage. But you've still invested time, but you will get more out of interacting with anyone in your life or career, like a curious salesperson, if you ask questions. So Nada says how to engage on LinkedIn when connecting. You know, write a personalized note, find something in their profile, write a personalized note in their connection request that you've seen something on their profile that is interesting to you, and then send the connection request. What's the easiest event to do? The easiest event to do, so you don't have to pay for food, is probably do a evening meetup after works, drinks, alcohol or non-alcohol, so you don't have to pay for food and you don't have to rent out a space. You can just gather in an area. That would be the simplest place to do, or do it in your local community center or area. Jim, good question on LinkedIn content. Generally, it's experimental. You know, I find sometimes my videos do great, sometimes my images do great, sometimes just text does great. You've just got to mix it up and be consistent with it.